Okay guys, so for 126, solving an absolute value equation, problem type 2, let's just quick refresher. An absolute value is the distance a number is from 0. So when you see this equation, absolute value of x equals 3, what you're really saying is what number or numbers are a distance of 3 away from 0. So can you guys tell me just really quick, what's something that measures distance?
A ruler.
A ruler. What's another thing?
Your hand. Your
Maybe.
phone.
Distance. Ruler's good. What else?
The 1/2 thing.
Half thing.
It's used in geometry.
A protractor?
Yeah, maybe for an angle measure, but just straight up distance. How about a tape measure?
You eyeball it.
Tape measure? How about you drive in a car and you want to know how far you went from here to Spokane?
Your GPS.
You've got your odometer, it just like goes through your GPS too, kind of, because it's the same. Now, when you use those tools, do you ever see negative numbers?
No.
And that's because distance cannot be negative. Okay, so the absolute value means what numbers, if I take out a tape measure and I go from 0 to a number and I look at my tape measure, then how far, the distance it needs to be from 0 is going to be 3. So if I take out a tape measure and I go from 0 to 3, my tape measure is going to say 3. And if I go from 0 to -3, it also says 3. So the answer to this one is both 3 and -3. All right, so this one right here, before you get started on any absolute value equation, the very first thing you need to do is get the absolute value alone. And you undo the order of operations to make that happen. So if there was multiplication and subtraction, you get rid of the subtraction first. But on this one, I'm going to get rid of the add 14 by subtracting 14. And then the absolute value of x will be by itself, and 20 minus 14 is 6. And so my final answer, we're like, what numbers are a distance of 6 away from 0? And those numbers would be 6 and -6. Okay, then this one here, if I get the absolute value by itself, I'm going to get rid of times 6 by dividing by 6. And so now my absolute value is by itself, but -48 divided by 6 is -8. So if you think about the meaning of that, what number or numbers are a distance of, and I don't have my negative in here, are a distance of -8 away from 0. Can you take out a tape measure and measure it and have a distance of -8 away from 0? No, it's impossible for distance to be negative. So this one is no solution. Okay, so step 1, get your absolute value by itself. After you have the absolute value, you need to know you're trying to figure out what numbers are a distance of 6 away from 0. So I got 6 and -6. But here, when I get the absolute value by itself by dividing by 6, what numbers are a distance of -8 away from 0? There are no numbers that are a distance of -8, so no solution.